Welcome back, everyone. Now, if you're up to date on the videos, the progress with my Ford Capri 2.8 injection, well, you'll know that here in the UK, this car is now registered as a historic vehicle. Yep, that's right. This is no longer a modern classic car. It's no longer a private light goods car. This is a historic vehicle. Here, take a look at the logbook. Now, applying the same logic to other things that came out of 1984, well, that means that Ghostbusters, that Gremlins, that Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, Police Academy, Nightmare on Elm Street, Beverly Hills Cop are all historic. Boy, what a year 1984 was for movies. Prince's Purple Rain, Madonna's Like a Virgin, Phil Collins' Against All Odds, even Karma Chameleon. All historic. It can't be. 1984 was also the rise of the personal computer, the launch of the Apple Macintosh. And in the gaming world, Tetris was released. Shoulder pads were also big, but then again, they probably do feel and should be historic. As someone who remembers 1984, well, it's hard to believe that it's 41 years ago. So much seems to have changed. But then also, lots is the same. Like back in 1984, you could go into your local Ford dealer and buy yourself a Ford Capri. And today, in 2025, you can still go into your Ford dealer and buy yourself a Ford Capri. Not that you'd really want to. I think that things were better back in 1984, weren't they? I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments below. As for this video, well, I thought I'd do something bang up to date, something really modern with my historic car. Here in 2025, well, we are talking about AI all the time. The world has gone mad about AI, artificial intelligence, and the fact that we're all going to be allegedly better off enabled through AI, with artificial intelligence doing some of our thinking for us. The thing is, back in 1984, we were also talking about AI when we learnt about something called Skynet and Skynet becoming self-aware. And well, that didn't end well, did it? Anyway, I'm sure that will not happen. Back to this video. What am I going to be doing? Well, I want to take my 2.8 injection Capri for a decent road trip. After all, we've done all this work to it in the last video. If you haven't seen it, go back and take a look. But all this work to it, this car now 12 months MOT, no advisories at all. So I want to take it on a road trip. And I've decided that that road trip is going to be entirely planned by AI. Yep, that's right. The destinations that we're going to, the roads that we're going to drive on, the facts that I'm going to share about the places that we're going, all the roads that we're driving on, even some jokes. I'm going to ask it to put some funny stuff in there too. I have absolutely no idea how this is going to turn out. I just want to take my lovely car on a drive. The weather's going to be great tomorrow, so I want to take this car for a lovely drive. I want to enjoy a bit of Cornwall, this county that I live in that I love so much, and I want to have a pasty along the way. This is a pasties and petrol heads video, and I hope that you enjoy it because you're coming with me. So the AI tool is saying it's ready when I am to ask it anything. So I please want AI for you to plan for me the ultimate, what time did we say Costa starts? Let's say 7:30 starts. 7:30 until 2:30 would be good. 7:30 to 2:30 road trip in Cornwall, starting at Liskeard, Costa, because I love a coffee, driving a 1984 Ford Capri 2.8 injection. I suppose we should say as a feature for a YouTube video, and to include some good to drive and picturesque roads. We'll have some nice places to visit with interesting, let's keep you all interested and funny Yep, funny fun facts. And because this is a pasties and petrol heads thing, we should really ensure the trip would be interesting for car enthusiasts. Okay, moment of truth. Whatever it says, we're going to do. Here we go. So itinerary wise then, it's Costa to Minions, Minions to Jamaica Inn, Jamaica Inn along the lovely Atlantic Highway, then to Padstow, then to Tintagel, where I think we'll have a pasty, and then on to St Nectan's Glen, and then back. Okay, that's our plan. Let's go. Well, we're here, Costa Coffee in Liskeard. It's just gone 7:30. I was here at 7:30. Here, take a look. And I'm now 15 miles into my AI-driven road trip. So let me give you a quick update and then let's go. Now, outside of the oddly timed and well too frequent food and drink stops planned by AI, I'm going to follow this AI route to the letter. And in fact, I've got it printed here and I've got a clipboard, so I mean business. I'm going to tell you the AI created facts, and disclaimer, I have no idea if they are accurate or true or not. I'm going to tell you the AI jokes and funny facts that it's come up with. Again, disclaimer, I have no idea if they're funny. But most importantly, I'm going to follow the route. I'm going to follow the route to the letter. And the best bit about this, of course, is I'm sat here in my lovely old Capri with fresh front suspension, with fresh engine oil, with refreshed brakes. And well, I'm really going to enjoy the 100 or so mile drive. So let's follow this then. It says here, start at Liskeard Costa, 7:30. We were here at 7:30. Intro shots with coffee. So very nice too, a flat white. Map reveal, so here's the map, here's the route that we're going to be taking today. A cold start, the engine revs, and we drive away. I've got a line to deliver too. Today we're taking this 1984 Ford Capri on Cornwall's best roads, haunted inns, dramatic coasts, and a pasty for breakfast. Pasty for breakfast, I'm not going to do that. So let's hit it. So it's just gone 8:20. I'm drinking a fairly lukewarm coffee because it turns out AI doesn't allow time for the setting up of cameras and moving things around. Just really the logistics of filming a YouTube video. But there we go. Now, I'm supposed to tell you all about how lovely and empty these early morning roads are, but I'm not entirely sure it's as early now as AI had intended me to be on the road, but still it's nice open roads here in Cornwall, and we're about to go on to Bodmin Moor, which is beautiful, and that's certainly something that AI is right about. It talks about narrow lanes, it talks about rocky tors in the distance, and it talks about lovely reveals by using a drone. So that's a problem straight away because I don't have a drone. I'm going to improvise though, but for now we're going to drive to Minions, which is not very far at all, less than 20-25 minutes. But I'm going to leave you to the dash cam footage because there are some really pretty roads on the way to Minions across Bodmin Moor. Isn't Minions absolutely beautiful? It's a stunning place and so close to my house. I should come here more often. Minions, of course, made famous by the Despicable Me movies, and now is a place that's frequented by lots of visitors to Cornwall, coming to have a photograph next to the road sign and spend a bit of time in Minions. Now, according to my AI script, the council here at Minions, the county council, have had so many of these road signs stolen that they've actually cemented them in the ground. Now, I'm not entirely sure that that's true. I don't see a great deal of cement there, but still, it's the AI script and I've read it. But nonetheless, Minions, a beautiful place to visit. I'm now supposed to put a drone up and show you the cheese ring and pan to the Capri. Now, I don't have a drone. We're going to improvise on that in a moment, but I will walk up and show you the cheese ring. And before I do, I'll show you this lovely picture that I've just taken of the Capri in front of what was the old mining engine house, which I think is now like a little museum of Minions. Right, let's see the cheese ring and then let's get back in the car. What a privilege it is to be up here at Minions so early when there's no one else around. Not going to walk too far because we've got a whole road trip to do, but I will walk you over to the Hurlers, which is a ancient kind of ceremonial monument, a stone circle, or a couple of stone circles, pretty impressive actually. So we'll go and stand amongst the Hurler stones. I'll show you where the cheese ring is. I'm not going to walk up to it today. We've got too much of a road trip to do. Then let's get back in the Capri. So here, look, are the Hurler stones. Aren't they fantastic? And in the distance there, that tor, as far as the eye can see, that's the cheese ring. I'll put some photographs up of either when I visited the cheese ring before, when I've walked up to it, or something that I found on the internet, but pretty impressive tour here on Bodmin Moor. It says in the AI script I should be putting up a drone and showing you the Hurler stones. I don't have a drone, so I'm going to use a selfie stick and I'll make the noise of a drone and we'll try and get some footage of these, but I'll also put some stock images in of the Hurlers too, so you get some idea of what it's like. But isn't it just beautiful here on Bodmin Moor? Okay, let's do a few seconds of fake drone footage and then back to the Capri. You know, I used to have a drone, but the damn thing flew away. I'm convinced actually that the chap I bought it from, an online seller, only has 2 or 3 drones, and every time he sells one he just calls one back because mine went up in the air and just flew away. Anyway, this fake drone footage, hope it's coming out okay. And then in true drone style, sorry about that everyone, I should really stick to the AI script. It said nothing about fake drone, but it did say something about drone. Anyway, next stop for us is the Jamaica Inn, that eerie, mysterious, historic place. Quite spectacular really to go and visit. So we're going to drive the Capri there. Hopefully they're serving breakfast because, well, the AI script said I should have a pasty for breakfast here in Minions at the tea room, which apparently opens in the summer, and it's clearly summer, in the summer at 8 AM, but it's closed. So let's go to Jamaica Inn. Well, there we go. Oh, bumpy. That was Minions. And wasn't it just lovely? I'm already about 30 minutes late compared to what the AI schedule had allowed for me. Mind you, that also included stopping here for a pasty for breakfast, but I did take a walk there across the moorland. So running about 30 minutes late, not sure if that's because AI fails to allow time for all the camera work and a bit of commentary for you all, or my just level of fitness really walking across the moors there, I don't know. But now we're off to Jamaica Inn, which is about a 35-minute drive, again across some quite pretty roads, and well, I'm not going to complain. I'm in my 1984 Capri. Ooh, I'm supposed to tell you at this point as well how well the Capri drives and how different it is to more modern cars, modern hot hatches. And of course, it was the hot hatch that killed the old coupe back in the 80s and into the 90s. People, all manufacturers, were putting out some smart looking coupes, and then the hot hatch came along in the 80s, and well, it did for the coupe. Coupes were considered old fashioned, and well, people fell out of love with them. They fell out of fashion, I suppose is the best way to describe it. But now the Capri, well, it's right back in fashion, isn't it? I mean, the new Capri is available from Ford right now, and whilst there was a bit of a stigma with driving a Capri back in the 80s and the 90s, today if you drive one, well, you get noticed, you get thumbs up, you get waves. People love seeing a Capri. And as for the way it drives and it handles, wow, it's like nothing else. I mean, driving it here, the gear change is lovely, the engine is smooth, that V6 Cologne engine is just so smooth, it makes a beautiful noise. I'm not going to have the stereo on all day today. I'm just going to enjoy driving this car, listening to this car. It's such a visceral experience. I think I've said that before on my videos. It really is, well, lovely. And throwing it into some corners, people used to say you had to put a bag of cement in the back to keep the back end of the Capri from sliding out. I've not found that to be the case. This car, after all, 150 brake horsepower. I mean, it's not quick by today's standards at all. In fact, it's nowhere near what you consider quick right now, and it's very easy to position because it's so narrow, so small, again, in comparison to new cars. So now it's great, easy to position on the road, great fun to drive, holds the road fairly well, and just lots and lots of drama. I love this car. Right, 30 minutes then, Jamaica Inn for a bit of breakfast. Oh! Well, we're coming out of the lanes now and out onto the A30. And I think I've got a bit of script to deliver to you on there. Right, let's get onto the A30. Faster bit of road. Only about 5 or so miles now, I would have thought, to the Jamaica Inn. It's a Friday today in the summer, so I'm hoping that the traffic isn't going to be too bad this morning. Try and do this drive tomorrow, well, you'll be quite a bit busier. Okay. Whoa. So I'm supposed to tell you, hang on, I'm supposed to tell you how lovely and smooth the tarmac is here and how well the Capri drives, but if I'm honest, this car drives well whether it's on the open road like this or through the lanes. It's effortless to drive this car. I mean, we're up 65, 70 miles an hour, it keeps up with traffic, engine silky smooth as I've said before. So whilst I agree, nice open roads, AI, and lovely smooth tarmac, I also really enjoyed the drive through the lanes. Okay, 5 or so minutes then to the Jamaica Inn, where we'll stop. I've got some things to do according to my AI script. What's not on the script is breakfast, but I'm hoping they're serving it because I'm having some. There it is, look in the distance, the Jamaica Inn, steeped in history and of course made famous by Daphne du Maurier, who wrote a very famous novel about this place, this bleak place. This place steeped in history, smugglers, and well, all kinds of sinister activity. It's also supposed to be haunted, of course. Right. All that I'm interested in right now is that it does breakfast and we can get some nice pictures. Well, let's start with it's open. Okay, here we go. The famous Jamaica Inn. I've gone for the Daphne du Maurier breakfast, mainly because I've still got to have a pasty later on the drive. Looks lovely. I'm starving. Well, that was absolutely delicious and just what I needed. And we have another funny fact that AI has written for us about the Jamaica Inn. So locals say that ghosts of smugglers haunt the bar, but I reckon they're just Capri owners looking for their next welding job. Let's hope the jokes get a little funnier than that. Okay, I'm gonna finish my coffee, we'll have a quick look around here, and then it's on with the road trip. This place, Jamaica Inn, well, it was built back in 1750, and in its real heyday, when it became famous, infamous, it was a smuggling HQ. What a fascinating place. It says here on the AI itinerary that I should be taking a thumbnail picture here. So here it goes.
It's classics, and then there is classics.
Thank you very much. Thought we'd take a quick picture of it. Cheers. Everyone loves a Capri, that chap in particular. But there's one more thing I need to say while I'm stood here outside the Jamaica Inn, the headquarters, as I've said, of smuggling. And that is that back then, you needed a fast horse to outrun excise men. Now, a Ford Capri might just about do it. Where do they get these? I am so sorry, but I said I'd read it. Right, let's get on with the drive. Well, a great little visit there to Jamaica Inn. Somewhere, if you've not been to Cornwall before, well, it's a place you've got to stop. It's a must-do attraction here in Cornwall, particularly if you're coming down the A30. Anyway, now our AI road trip is taking us to Padstow via Bodmin, the A30 down to Bodmin, and the A30, no, 389 maybe, the A389, yes, probably it is, out towards Weybridge and then Padstow. So about 30 miles, I suppose, about 50 minutes. Some nice driving time with the Capri. Isn't the A30 just such a pretty road, particularly this stretch across Bodmin Moor? Wow, I mean, this is making the road trip on its own. This AI was spot on in picking this particular road. Yeah, really nice, and the Capri is just eating it up. It's a warm day as well, and I'm sure all these modern cars have got their air conditioning on, and sure, air conditioning creates a nice ambient environment, but you can't beat, and I'm sorry if you can't quite hear me, but you can't beat a bit of 2x70, 2 windows down, 70 miles an hour. That's 2x70 air conditioning. The fresh air here coming into the car. And the Capri, well, the way it's been built is, you put your arm there, it's proper classic driving. This is how everyone used to drive back in the 80s and the 90s. Everyone had a tanned right arm because you put your elbow out, you put your hand on your steering wheel in your coupe, and you just cruised along, looking over these lovely 6 dials here, piloting your sports car, your GT car. Girl, this car is wonderful. Well, here I am in Weybridge, and actually I decided to take a little detour, I suppose. I'm not using sat-nav for this drive, so I thought I'd take a little detour. Found myself in some lanes, found some quite picturesque, beautiful lanes actually, with lovely views, and some typical Cornish traffic as well on my detour. I've completely missed the A39 and the A389, which, by the way, is described by AI as the Cornish Autobahn, mainly because of its long straights and national speed limit. Now, I'm not entirely sure that I've heard it called the Cornish Autobahn before, but that's what AI says. That's what I'm telling you. In fact, people from Cornwall, people watching this, if you have called it that in the past, well, then please do let me know. Right, we're headed now, I think, for pretty much the beginning of the camel trail, which my son and I did last week from Weybridge to Padstow. But this time I'm doing it in the car. So yeah, right in front of me now is the start of the camel trail, a brilliant cycle track if you're ever down this way. It's about 5.5 miles there to Padstow, but today we're driving it. So let's go pick up the A39, this Cornish Autobahn. Let's see for ourselves, and then let's get into Padstow. Here we are then, arriving into Padstow, which is a very pretty little fishing port. Not going to spend too much time here, mainly because the AI road trip tells me I should have been arriving here at 10:15, and it's more like 12:15. Look at this beautiful water here. If it's coming out on the camera, really blue. Such a nice day today. But anyway, here we are arriving into Padstow. Now, AI tells us, and it's right, that the celebrity chef Rick Stein owns several businesses here, and well, the locals call it Padstein as a result, and that is true. AI also jokes that, well, I wonder if Rick Stein has ever battered a Capri manifold before. These jokes are terrible. Anyway, I'm telling you because I said I would. Right, I'm not going to stay here very long. We'll just pull into the car park. We'll take a quick bit of footage of the harbour because it is pretty. AI tells me I should be interacting with some locals and asking them about the Capri. I'm not going to do that. So a flying visit to Padstow, a very pretty place, but there's a place far nicer, in my opinion, on our road trip, and I can't wait to get there. Just looking to park, and I'll remind you all that I have been here before on the channel when I drove around Cornwall on the Kerno 300 miles of Cornish coastline, all done in 2 days. It was absolutely brilliant, and well, I may have to just show you the footage of that, because it's really, really busy here today, as it would be. It's the summer, it's a nice place to visit. Rick Stein will be selling lots of fish and chips. But I said I'd stick to the AI route, and that's what I've done. Yeah, I'll try and get you a quick panning shot or photograph of Padstow, but if not, we're off to Tintagel in a moment, and well, that's far, far nicer than Padstow, in my opinion. Padstow is busy today, but we did manage to grab a parking space just briefly and take that little bit of footage because AI said we had to come here, so I did. Right, on to a place I much prefer now. Padstow's lovely, but Tintagel, well, is very special indeed. Probably 45 minutes or so away from here, I would say. Hour maybe if the traffic's bad, but it's only about 30 miles, but yeah, really special place. I think we'll stay there. Pasty, ice cream, who knows? Let's go, but hopefully this puts us on track. It's only 12:30. We were 15 minutes in Padstow. What time does it say that we should be in Tintagel? 11:15, oh dear. I'm still gonna be, well behind, but let's go anyway. We're on the B3314, which AI tells me I've got to share some things about with you in a moment, particularly about how the road undulates and also how that makes the car drive and really come to life. And I'll come to that. But first of all, I'm going to go a little bit off AI script, and I hope that, well, AI's not watching, Skynet's not watching. But I've been driving along here thinking about the world today being AI enabled, automation enabled, like this road trip really. And well, it's made me think about how really the use of AI in everything, just like in car design, just like in designing a road trip, well, it's just an indication of where the world is right now and where it's going. I mean, this road trip as an example, so I put some instructions into, or an ask really, wasn't it, into the AI bot. And sure enough, it answered my question. It gave me some destinations, it gave me some nice roads. I mean, it's given me a destination I've never been to before, right at the end of this road trip. I'm looking forward to that. It's given me a couple of roads that I haven't driven before either, so that was really useful. And sure, it's given me a road trip. The car's made it brilliant. The weather has made it fantastic. I've had a great time. I've been AI enabled in the route that I've taken. But where I think AI has fallen short is in some of the facts about the places we've been to. I mean, I'm not entirely sure that all of the facts that it's given me are even accurate. I've read them out, I've shared them with you in the way that AI has told me to, because that was my promise right at the top of the video, but I'm not sure that they're accurate. And as for the humor, as for the jokes, and by the way, there's some more coming, and well, it gets no better. It's been terrible, terrible. And doesn't that sum it up? Sure, AI, automation, being AI enabled can give you the route, some of the answers. It can expose things to you that maybe you hadn't thought about before. That's the benefits of it. But when it comes to that human creativity, that human flair, that humor, well, it's sadly lacking, and I'm sure it will get better. Now translate that to today's world, and let's use car design. Modern cars are being designed by clever people who are enabled by technologies, by automation, by AI. And well, to be honest, they're turning out Yeah, cars that perform the basic function of a vehicle. They get you from A to B, they get you there in comfort, they get you there safely. You've got lots of gadgets on board. Yes, it does all of that. But back in 1984, or before that actually, when the Capri was developed and designed, this car was designed by a person. That person had a name. He or she had a name. And I'm not just talking about the Capri, I'm talking about every single component. This steering wheel, this dashboard, that dash clock, that window winder, this door card, all designed by people. People with a family, children maybe, people with friends, people with hobbies, people with interests, people who are happy sometimes, sad others, frustrated sometimes, emotional others. And that blend, that recipe, that all came together, that passion, that flair, to design something that in my eyes is one of the most beautiful cars ever created. And the way it sounds and the way it drives, it was all deliberate. Someone went home when they were designing this car every night, proud of what they'd done, mindful of the buyer, mindful of how someone would walk into a Ford showroom and fall in love with this car. That's not what we've got today. AI enabled, sure, is breaking new ground, but you've got to have the human element. And as for the cars today, they're all the same. They lack soul. This car has so much soul. I've just spent about the last 15, 20 minutes or so off camera just enjoying my drive, arm out the window, the smell of petrol. This thing isn't easy to drive, and I've absolutely loved it. Take me back to 1984. I want to watch Ghostbusters in the cinema. I want to watch Terminator in the cinema. I want to listen to Madonna and Michael Jackson and Phil Collins. And I want to be able to go into a Ford showroom and buy a proper Ford Capri. Right, back to the script, because that's not what AI wanted me to say on this road trip. AI wants me to talk to you about the undulations in the road, the fact that it gets tight and technical in spaces, and that shows off the steering, the roll, the handling of the Capri. And yeah, sure it does. This car's great fun to drive along here. Handles very well really for an old car. I mean, just think about how old this chassis is. But it predates the Capri by a long way, but now along here, the long, low, sleek dynamics of the Capri, well, it's just great to go into corners and throw into bends. You're properly driving this thing, as I've just said. AI also wants me to tell you, artificial intelligence also wants me to tell you about over the hills, and you get the glimpse every now and again of the sea. And yeah, you do, it's very, very pretty. So there are two AI things for you, because now I'm back on script. Right, about 4 or 5 miles now to Tintagel, a place I love, a place we'll spend half an hour or so. But as I say, the last place on our road trip is a place I've not been before, so I'm keen to go there. It's been quite warm weather, not much rainfall, so it's a waterfall, so I'm hopeful that there's still water falling. We'll take a look. But for now, it's into Tintagel, and I'll put the dash cam on and drive you right out to the headland there where the hotel is, the Camelot Hotel. It's spectacular. Probably one of my favourite places in Cornwall. It's so unique. And well, it again featured in my Kerno 300 video when I drove all the way around Cornwall. If you haven't seen that video, do take a look. I can't remember if I said that earlier or not. I'm saying it again. It's over 2 parts, 2 days, right the way around Cornwall, 20 stops in my ZT260 V8 Rover. Watch it for that, if nothing else. That car sounds amazing. As good as this. I'm not saying better than this. As good as this. Right. Tintagel, here we come. Driving through Tintagel now, past the old and very famous post office. In fact, we clocked just 101 miles on our road trip today as we drove into Tintagel. But we're here now. I'm going to drive right out to the Camelot Hotel, as I said that I would. I'm not really supposed to, but we'll get a couple of photographs and then have a stroll through Tintagel. There's a nice pasty shop here, and it is a pasties and petrol heads video. So I probably should get a pasty. What time is it? Oh, 1:30, yes. It's gone past midday, so it's perfectly acceptable to have a pasty now. Right, let's get out the front, take a few pictures of the car, have a stroll through Tintagel, do the AI bits of script, don't hold your breath everyone, and then on to, I think, our final destination on this road trip before we head back to Costa Liskeard, albeit I'll probably drive past there and go home. Right, here it is, look, the run up to Camelot Hotel. What an impressive looking building that is, look. Right out here on the headland. Spectacular. I wonder if the Aston, in fact it is, the Aston Martin that I think I mentioned earlier in the video, not sure if I did or not. There's an Aston Martin here that's been wrapped by a particular artist. Quite pretty. If I can get the car park next to it, I will have a photograph. I'm stood here, look, in front of King Arthur's Great Hall in Tintagel. King Arthur, Merlin, the legend of all of that, so steeped in Tintagel's heritage. And, well, if you go out to the castle itself, then you get to stand next to the famous Arthur statue and you can look down on Merlin's cave. The castle, absolutely wonderful to see. Some photographs of when I visited it before, but really, really spectacular. Now, AI wants me to tell you that the Capri is like the king amongst Fords, just like Arthur is the king amongst kings. Thing is, Arthur wasn't actually real, was he? But there we go. I'm saying it because that's my script. So we're going to walk through Tintagel now, have a look at the post office, pick up a pasty because it's pasties and petrol heads today, and then we'll get back in the car. Been looking forward to this. Pasty time. God dear, can't wait. Actually, let me show you where I'm parked first of all. So, this is the car. And if we just pan this way a little bit, you'll see that I'm actually just down the road from the castle here in Tintagel. Free parking here, everyone. Don't tell everyone, but free parking here if you can find a space. Anyway, right, let's try this pasty, which is crimped down the middle, okay? I tend to like them crimped down the side more so, but here we go. Just watching the Cornwall Council parking warden walk past. We must be okay. So there you go. Even more evident that you can park here and enjoy Tintagel and have a pasty. Right, let's see what this one's like. A lot of pastry, but good. Pasties and petrol heads, this bit, isn't it? Pasty, car, petrol head, brilliant. God, that is so nice. I love a pasty. Pasties and petrol heads, that's what it's all about. It's about getting out in your car, in the sunshine, doing some nice roads, going to some nice sites, and if you're in Cornwall, making sure you stop somewhere for a pasty, like this one, which is delicious. Right, I'm not going to let you sit there and watch me eat for 20 minutes. So I'll get this finished and then it's off to our next stop. So the pasty was delicious, and now we're off to a place called St Nectan's Glen, which is a place I haven't been before, but apparently there's a wicked waterfall there. Let me just put my seatbelt on a second. So yeah, it's quite exciting. A place I haven't been before. Put the microphone on so you can hear me. But before we go, well, whilst I'm still here in Tintagel, AI requires me to tell you one thing about it. Be ready to cringe, everyone. Locals claim that King Arthur was born here. I think I said that earlier, that this place is steeped in the legend of King Arthur. Allegedly, he was born here. Allegedly, Merlin's cave is over there. But King Arthur was born here. Arthur had Excalibur. And I have a 2-litre Pinto with 105 raging horses on a good day. There's so much wrong with that. First of all, it's not funny. Secondly, we don't have a 2-litre Pinto. We have a 2.8 injection, 150, I think, brake horsepower. Dear, oh dear, AI, get your facts right and your jokes right. Right, let's pull out of here, avoiding this Citroen C2 that's for sale. Good luck with the sale on that one, whoever it is. Not been to St Nectan's Glen, as I say before. I think it's only about 10 minutes away, a couple of miles away, so we'll see if we can find it. Filled now with a pasty, that's a fried breakfast and a pasty, 2 coffees today. Ugh. An AI would have had me eating much more than that if you actually read through when I scrolled through earlier on. It had a pasty for breakfast, it had a pastry at 10 o'clock, it had lunch here. My goodness. How far behind are we? Let me have a look. So we're leaving Tintagel now, and we should be leaving Tintagel at 12:15. It's 2:30. Okay, we're well behind, but that's okay. Let's drive through beautiful Tintagel again. As I say, one of my favourite places to come and visit, so do come and visit, and I can highly recommend those pasties. They were, well, as we'd say down here, they were booty. Right, here we go. Only about a 5-minute drive then in the end. Found the parking, not too bad, £3 for a car. Now I'm walking these lovely woodlands trying to find this waterfall, and I'm buoyed by the fact that there's water in the stream, so we should have water falling somewhere. Nice in the car park, got chatting to a couple who had some classic Fords themselves, and we chatted about the Capri, their Mark 1 Escort and their son's Mark 2 Fiesta, which sounds something of a beast. So if I've gained a subscriber, and if you're watching, thanks for coming over and saying hello. Right, let's go and find this waterfall. Classic me this. I followed all the signs to get here, but I didn't really read the signs. And it's 10 quid to come and see the waterfall. You walk for 20 odd minutes, beautiful woodland, and then you end up at a cafe, very nice too, and you have to pay to go and see the waterfall. Okay, fair enough, 10 quid. Okay, I came on my own and left my boys at home. That'll be worth it. Let's go take a look. Okay, it turns out it is pretty cool. turns out the walk and the tenner were worth it. I mean, look at this. It's spectacular and it goes all the way up. Check it out, quite amazing. Now, the locals say, so AI tells me, that fairies live here. AI also tells me that the real magic that fairies could do is fixing the Capri rust overnight. I hope that's the last of these AI humorous points. Anyway, just going to enjoy a little bit more time here. Then it's back to the Capri and back home. Although I may visit the coffee shop here. Can I have another coffee? I don't know, we'll see. But a nice place to visit. Well, that was lovely. Less of the short walk. What time did we get here? Got here at 14:43. It's now 4:15, so knocking on a couple of hours here. Lovely walk, actually. Waterfall was amazing. Well worth it, I think. Nice to get back to the Capri, though. Okay, how far home? About 50 miles, I reckon. About 50 miles, but it won't be 50 minutes. Hour and a half, maybe? Let me look. Type it in now. So let's go back to Tor Point, because hour and a half. Look at that. Wow, that's pretty good. Directions. 46 miles back. 46 miles, hour and a half. Not too bad at all. I should enjoy the drive. I'll cool down. I actually stopped on the way back there and had a quick drink from the cafe. Really is worth a visit, this place. Just got a budget for it because it's not the cheapest waterfall to visit in Cornwall. Right, I'll put some windows down, get the Capri started, and then let's go. About 20 miles now until I get home. I'll put the total mileage up at the end of the video, as I always do on these road trip videos. But I've been sat here thinking about my day, thinking about how much fun I've had. One moment I want to share with you that I didn't share at the time is when I was sat having that pasty in Tintagel. After I'd been doing a bit of filming, I was sat there, it was quiet, and all I could hear in the Capri was the clock ticking. Now, if you've ever owned a Ford Capri, or any Ford of this era really, that had that quartz clock, then you know what I'm talking about. It's a really loud tick. And well, for me, it's a very comforting sound. You see, it reminds me of my granddad's 1986 Capri Laser, because just like all parents and grandparents do to kids, they say, stay in the car, I'll be a minute, and then 20 minutes later they come back, and you're sat in the car for 20 minutes. Well, back when I was young, there were no mobile phones, there was no handheld games consoles to play. You just had to sit and wait and look out the window. And I was left in the car quite happily, sat in a Ford Capri, listening to that tick. So today, just listening to that, well, I was transported back to being 8 or 9 years old, waiting for my granddad, who had popped in to see someone, usually in Liskeard when we'd gone to market, to sell some of his livestock. What a nice memory that was. In fact, I'm going to put some ticks up here now. 10-20 seconds of it now. I'll film it later, but here you go. So there, I hope you thought that it was as therapeutic as I think it is. Now, I almost didn't come on this road trip. Last night I was sat there thinking to myself, do I really want to go? I had 101 other things to do, as we all do. And, well, it was an early start, but no, I did. I got up and I went, and I'm so glad I did. There's a lesson in that for me and for probably many more of you watching as well, which is sometimes you just got to get up and do stuff and have great days out like this. I've had a brilliant day, a really brilliant day, and well, life's just too short, isn't it? So if you're watching this and you want a Ford Capri, go get one. If a Ford Capri isn't your thing or you can't quite stretch to it, go and buy something else, something that interests you, and take it on drives, your drives. And if you're stuck to know where to go, ask AI, because it did come up with a decent road trip. Just don't ask it for funny stuff. But it did come up with a decent road trip. And I think if I was clearer with my instruction, maybe I'd have had better content for you all as well. Now, it's been absolutely brilliant. So many people have been over to see me and talk to me about this car. I've done this road trip on my own today, but I've not been on my own. Every single time I've stopped in Minion, someone went past and beat their horn. Stopped at Jamaica Inn, that chap came over and spoke to me, drove past and spoke to me about the car. In Padstow, a couple came over. She asked to sit in the car. They had their photograph taken in it and with the Capri. There at the waterfall, a chap came over and we got chatting about his Ford. I've probably had 15 or 20 people talk to me today about this car. That's no exaggeration. And that doesn't count the waves, the smiles, the thumbs up that this car has. Of all of my cars, this is the car that receives the most affection from people passing by. And well, that's great. It's great to be able to share this and for other people to enjoy it. This is a proper driving car as well. If you're going to go on a road trip, you take the Capri, you take the MG ZT260, you take the MGF Trophy, you take one of the Focus RSs. They're all very focused, excuse the pun, focused driving cars. I've got other cars, of course. I've got show cars, so Sierra XR 4x4 as an example. Lovely car to drive, but you know, leaves you a bit cold really. But taking that to a show, well, that's just great. This is a driving car. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I've enjoyed throwing it into bends. I've enjoyed opening up on the dual carriageway. I've enjoyed taking it through narrow lanes because, as I said earlier, it's so easy to position and to place this car because it is so narrow. It's comfortable too. I've done 132 miles so far, about another 20 home, I suppose. I could do another 100, another 200 miles in this car. It's effortless to drive. It's comfortable to sit in. It's a great cruising car. It's why they were so popular back in the day and still so popular today. As the chap said at Jamaica Inn, there are classics and there are classics. And the Ford Capri is a classic. And this one is a historic classic. Now, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. It's a bit different. If you have, click a like button. If you want to get in touch, let me know something that you've seen or thought about in this video, hit the comments. And if you want to see more content like this, more on my cars, subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate that. I thank you for joining me on this, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Bye for now, everyone. Bye-bye.